Well, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Ordinary Guys Bourbon. Today on the program, a very special guest, a person who's anything but ordinary. Chris Corne.
Hey, Dave.
How you been?
Been good.
You've been on a couple episodes now so far.
Yes.
How many?
Two.
Two? This is your third?
Well, if you count the one that we recorded twice.
That was not just one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But we had a little bit too much because of recording twice. Yeah.
No such thing.
How you been?
Good. Real good.
Hey, we got a little bit of a different display out here today, right? We've got the bourbon, of course, that we're going to sample today. We'll get into that later.
All right.
Cream of Kentucky small batch bourbon. We've got this beautiful decanter that was purchased by Andy, my son, for me, which is nice. But we also have a bottle of ketchup.
Ketchup?
Yeah. So this is French's ketchup. I've been looking around for French's ketchup for years.
Okay.
Right, I finally found it, and I'm excited about this because French's ketchup. You know the story behind this?
Caught drifts. Tell me about it.
So French's is a mustard company,
Yeah.
right? The yellow bottle,
Yep.
right? But there was a Heinz factory in Leamington, Ontario, beautiful Leamington by Point Pelee, and the community had long provided their agriculture for the factory, and Heinz opted to close down the factory for whatever reason. Right? And as they were looking for a buyer,
That son of a bitch John Kerry.
well, either way, French's stepped in. We don't talk about politics, Joe. French's stepped in and said, "We're going to do the ketchup business." So I bought this today because tomorrow we've got a little employee recognition appreciation event, and we're doing some Detroit-style conies, which have nothing to do with ketchup, right? But I figured maybe someone wants ketchup, and I saw this. I got so excited. And I figured, what a great thing to talk about. But, so you've never tried French's?
Never bought it. Nope. It was always Heinz and Hunt sucks.
Maybe I might change the entire format of this program to Ordinary Guys French's Ketchup after this. I don't know.
So my kids, they didn't like much food. Even French fries, they were nothing but ketchup delivery vehicles.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever.
Or ranch delivery. Kids love the ranch as well. But hey, you mentioned politics.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about politics on the program.
Gotcha.
I should just stop the recording right now. But it also kind of makes me think about the world is very polarized right now, very divided, right? And it's interesting. We try to provide an even keel in our broadcast, right? Our review of the bourbon is at least what we think. It's as accurate as we can make it. We don't try to skew things one way or another. But you think about things. A lot of people nowadays get their news from like Bookface and like Instagram or TikTok, or even like you think you're watching a news channel, whether it's Fox News or CNN, and it's really not.
It's an opinion channel.
It's an opinion channel, exactly. And I love it that people have passion on both sides, right? And whatever spins someone's prop, I support their advocacy for that cause. But for crying out loud, it's not the news, right?
No.
Like this isn't like the days of Walter Cronkite telling you the news.
No. Remember days of like not having a good radio signal, searching for a station while you're driving. It's like catching something on a WJR on some skip, on the way to Florida.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And for a while they were talking about not even putting AM radios in cars anymore. And I'll tell you what, like on the
radios period now.
Well, in the F-150, like they got a new F-150, and like to try to find to scroll through the radio channels, it's like I can figure it out, right? Or you have to hit the button on the touchscreen so many times, I just lose interest and go back to Spotify. But I mean, there were some great broadcasters in the 80s, 70s, 80s, maybe early 90s, right? I mean, who did you listen to on WJR?
That's where the great voice of the Great Lakes, I'd get my Detroit Lions football.
Okay.
And so like Jim Bramstadter.
Oh, and Mark Champion. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Do you remember their catchphrase?
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me.
Come on.
Come on.
Holy mackerel.
Holy mackerel.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
And I used to like when Mark Champion was calling the game, and the Lions were not a very good team back then, and I think toward the end of his tenure, he started getting really salty, and I liked it,
Yeah.
because it was kind of like his voice was saying in broadcasting what we were all feeling, you know. But he's gone on after they went with was Dan Miller right after Mark Champion? Or did they have someone?
And it had to be someone in the middle because
I think so.
I thought it was such a huge drop off then.
Yeah.
And Dan Miller, I think is fantastic.
He's great. He's great.
Yeah.
But they went to I think Jim Brandstetter and Mark Champion both broadcast for the football team.
University of Michigan?
University of Michigan, right?
Yeah.
I think Mark Champion also did broadcasting for the Pistons for a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know.
I think he went right from the Lions to the Pistons.
The reason why those names are so familiar is when I was younger, there wasn't, there were many times the home game wasn't broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only way we were able to, watch the Lions was listening on the radio.
That's
because the Silver Dome was 80,000 seats, had to be sold out to get on TV locally. And so we missed a lot of, national broadcasts or whatever broadcasts for that.
That's right. That's right.
Now, if you wanted to listen to the voice on the radio and watch the game at the same time, it's very difficult to synchronize.
That's right.
If you listen to the audible source on some or audio source on some streaming, it could be a minute and a half behind or 2 minutes, and even live TV is 15 seconds behind.
Yeah.
So if you got live radio, you can't pause live radio. It's just a mess.
Did that delay start with Nipplegate?
I think it did. I think that's the reason for it.
Yeah, and appropriately so. Let's keep things.
So, by the way, if you want to watch a game as live as possible and not be in there, the gambling sites,
like DraftKings and some of that, we're not sponsored.
where they play, they have video of the game.
Okay.
Because you can make play-by-play bets. That is actual, is real time. There's no 15-second delay.
Really?
So if you want, trick with your friends, you can tell someone the result of it because you're watching it on like FanDuel or whatever.
You can ruin it for everybody else.
Yes, you can. You can say, "Oh man, I bet they fumble."
Well, I just had to buy a subscription to FanDuel Detroit because we split time between Michigan, that's where our home is, right? But also we spend some time in Illinois, we spend some time in Indiana, and so just being able to catch the Red Wings games. And I'll tell you what, like I tuned into the first game this season. I don't watch preseason at all, but I tuned into the first game, and John Keating he retired. I had no idea, and I mean they'll bring another broadcast on the new broadcast. You know what's funny? They have Chris Osgood.
Okay.
Often as sitting across the table from John Keating. I love Chris Osgood.
See.
Right? But I'll tell you what, it's something about hockey players, and I don't know what it is, but it seems like their voices are faster. It seems like their eyes are moving back and forth real quick. And every single hockey player that I've ever watched, they always have that, like they're taking breaths at different times than normal people, And I think it has something to do with their athleticism. I think that's how they are. You don't notice that?
No.
Maybe I'm just crazy.
I just think they have funny accents.
Because they're all Canadian, right?
You're taking your sample already?
Oh, I'm just keeping lubed up. Glenn Hagee?
No, that's one I did not know.
America's Handyman?
Nope, I'm not familiar with it.
He passed away a few years ago. Bruce Williams? Bruce Williams, and there's a YouTube channel called TalkNet Tapes.
Okay.
That I don't know, some guy had like a whole cassette tape collection of old Bruce Williams recordings. I think he was the longest running nationally syndicated radio talk show host.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the mayor of a town. He owned a bank. There was some conflict, and he said, "I'm not gonna miss out on that." And so he was in the army, I think. He crashed. He was a pilot. He crashed his plane, a recreational pilot.
Okay.
Crashed his plane. Wouldn't miss a broadcast. They broadcast from the hospital bed, right?
Wow.
He owned, along with his sons, he owned like a dueling piano bar on Disney's adult boardwalk area, whatever that's called. Let's see what else. He owned a preschool. And the guy, but he was the kind of person that his broadcasts were there were a lot of financial topics, but just broad topics about life. And he was very, very straight with people,
Okay.
right? It was of an era where if there was a female caller, he'd call them sweetheart or honey, which you couldn't do now, right? But genuinely, people listened to him and enjoy it. Heck, I still listen to him, and I think he passed away 15 years ago, I think. But airport jets, what's up with that?
So Airport High School team's going through a little bit of a rough patch. You know, a few years ago, state quarterfinals, but hope's on the way.
Where is Airport?
So Airport is the school district for Carlton, which is about 25 miles north of the border with Ohio, just off by 275.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's in Monroe County, northern Monroe County. It's the first really town that you'd enter coming into Monroe County from I-275.
Okay.
So school Airport, because when the school district was created, it was gifted land from the government that had a Nike missile base.
Okay.
And there was a training airport.
The shoe company that made missiles?
Well, the Nike missile system.
Oh.
It was part of the defense for Detroit.
Okay.
Okay. So that's how the school district got its name, Airport.
Okay.
Even though it's in Carlton.
Okay.
All right. But anyway, hope's on the way. The 7th and 8th grade teams just finished great years. 7th grade team was undefeated. 8th grade team lost one time.
Okay.
And because we have a 7th grade team this year, it's very difficult for the schools to find programs that have a 7th grade team. Due to dwindling numbers, this is the first time our school district has had a 7th grade team in over a decade. Okay. So now that they have one, our 7th and 8th grade team have to play schools that also have good numbers.
Okay, yeah.
Even though our school district is like 750 kids in the high school, makes that, I think, in Michigan a Division 4 school. The schools we played this year all have 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 kids in their high school, and so bigger schools. Going up to class, and our 7th grade kids beat some really good programs. Carlson, which has like a bang-up year this year. Woodhaven, which is actually where I went to school.
Okay.
Beat them last night. Lincoln Park. Belleville, 2-time recent state champion Belleville.
Couldn't some of those smaller communities, though, like at the middle school level, couldn't they, put schools together and say we're going to be the Lincoln Park and E-Horse, the Wyandotte and River Rouge team?
I've seen that specifically for hockey.
Okay.
I've seen schools band together just to have enough players for a program. I've never seen that at football.
We're going back to hockey again.
Yeah.
So Airport, doing well. Your boy is 7th grade right now?
7th grade, yeah.
7th grade, so 2 more years, but the 8th grade team was also pretty solid. They'll go on to Airport High School, when you think that in the 2, 3, 4 year range,
Yes.
you're going to have a powerhouse.
I think there'll be this lull between 3 years ago and right now will recover as these kids go through school. These kids that are in middle school right now were the first players to participate in a junior football program that was created in our community called the Junior Jets.
Okay.
Never had one. So if a kid wanted to play football around Airport or Carlton area, they'd have to go to Monroe, they'd have to go to Huron, maybe up to Woodhaven, so that extra travel, extra distance, and lack of community, not a lot of kids did. So the first exposure to tackle football kids would have would be 7th grade. So they'd start summer practice and you'd have to teach kids what's the offense, what's the defense, what are some of the rules of football, how do you get in the 3-point stance, and go from there. And they only had a couple weeks before the first game. Now the 7th grade team start up this summer. Everybody on that team, maybe 1 or 2 hadn't. They're just starting off in their football playing experience, but they played 2 or 3 years of tackle football in the same program with coaching that was borrowed, playbooks that were the same. So it's just, you can see it, the product in the field.
Do they have the radios in their helmets, the quarterbacks?
No, they do not.
They have a coach on the field, like behind them?
No, not this level.
Because I think quite a few of my nephews play, and they're like aged 5 to 10, 5 to 8, I don't know. Little.
Yeah, so the 5-year-olds might be playing flag football.
No, they play full on tackle.
Okay.
And like my brother-in-law sends me videos of his boy playing. I get videos from my sister of her boys playing. And I mean, not a lot of pass plays.
No.
Not a lot of pass plays. But it's always there. The threat is always there.
It is.
Let's get into this bourbon here.
How about it?
Cream of Kentucky small batch bourbon. This might be really delicious. Let me
Never had it.
get my notes.
Excited.
Neither have I. So
Just now.
yeah.
Cheater.
So, oh my goodness. So I haven't heard of Cream of Kentucky bourbon before. When I was doing my research for Woodford Reserve, though, I spent probably too long learning about the 6 distilleries that were given federal permits to distill medicinal whiskey during the Volstead Act. And that's when I first heard of it.
Were they one?
I don't know. Later that day, during a trip to Binny's, I came across this bottle, so here we go. Cream of Kentucky Small Batch Bourbon is a 100 proof offering from the Cream of Kentucky Distillers of Crestwood, Kentucky. The back of the bottle reads, Double Rich, Cream of Kentucky, and provides the following story, which is identical to what's printed on the Cream of Kentucky website. So not a lot of,
Okay.
yeah. The Cream of Kentucky brand was originally introduced in 1888 by I. Traeger and Company of Cincinnati, Ohio. Prior to the end of Prohibition, the brand was acquired by the famed Shenley Company and reintroduced in 1934. Throughout the 1930s and 1940s, Cream of Kentucky grew to become one of the leading bourbon brands, with renowned artist Norman Rockwell providing artwork for the brand. This unique small batch release offers a symphony of flavors that intermingle to create the signature double rich flavor promise. Our tradition of using only the best bourbon assures a delightful pour of Cream of Kentucky every time.
So like Campbell's soup can and this bourbon could have the same look and feel?
Well, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So why haven't I heard of it or tried it before? Or you either?
Yeah.
Because it declined steadily in the 50s, 60s, and 70s before it was discontinued by the Shenley Company after selling the Ancient Age Distillery. If you're really into business mergers, acquisitions, and sales, you should probably write a huge paper about the Shenley Industries, which is one of the nation's biggest distillers with sales in 1967 over $500 million. Shenley Industries was merged rather creatively with a company called Glen Alden Corporation, orchestrated by a guy named Meshulam Riklis, that Time magazine called a, quote, Wall Street whiz-bang in 1968. Glen Alden Corporation was a conglomerate with interests in coal, leather goods, textiles, theaters, building materials, Playtex bras, and throat lozenges.
What the hell were they doing in bourbon?
I don't know. Well, it's like ColecoVision, the video game system that was in the early 80s, right? Came to rise because it was better than Atari, but also came packaged with Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
It was brilliant, right? Mm-hmm. But Coleco is the Connecticut leather company. That's what Coleco is. Yeah. Anyways, Shenley was sold to Guinness in 1987, but has continued to be the namesake of the Shenley Award for outstanding play in the Canadian Football League, which continues today, even though it stopped sponsorship of the CFL in the 1987-88 year. The 2024 award recipient was two-time Grey Cup champion running back Brady Oliveira of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Let's get back to bourbon though.
Right.
So the original product was discontinued sometime in the 1980s. It wasn't until Jim Rutledge partnered with Stephen Comisa and John Mowry in 2018 that the brand was revived.
Four Roses, Jim Rutledge?
Well, we'll get into that. Through his own distillery, the appropriate name J.W. Rutledge Distillery, with the first bottles officially released just before the COVID-19 pandemic. Jim Rutledge, right? Name sounds familiar. He's been in business of bourbon for over 50 years, many of which were with the Seagrams and Four Roses. Four Roses was purchased by Seagrams in 1943, then was passed around the hot potato from 1999 to 2002, moving to Vivendi Universal, to Pernod Ricard, to Diageo, and then settling with Kirin Brewing Company. Jim was the master distiller at Four Roses, regardless of who owned the company, for 20 years, from 94 until his retirement in 2015. But he clearly has no clue what retirement is. In addition to starting the J.W. Rutledge Distillery, he's also the, quote, liquid advisor for Blue Run Spirits. We reviewed one of their offerings in season 1, episode 13.
Okay.
Featured Liam Two-Moon. So this bourbon is called Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, so it's at least 4 years old. There's no age statement on the bottle, but the double rich flavor promise suggests it might be older. Cream of Kentucky does have offerings that have some seniority. There's an 11.5 and a 16-year offering. The mash bill for this is 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. That's the same mix that Woodford Reserve uses, by the way.
Okay.
And as I said in the beginning, it's a 100 proof bottle. So let's have it. This is Cream of Kentucky Small Batch Bourbon. $59.99 is the price of this bottle. All right. Cheers to you.
Cheers, man.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
You know, I have a mix, so it's very easy to drink no matter what it is mixed, but that is a good flavor. I mean, it's light. I don't have. It's not like, whoa, I need to cut that or slow down.
Do you want to try it straight?
Oh,
I'll get you. I have the.
wait one, y'all. Maybe this one help me out.
Do you want it in a red plastic solo cup or
Just like that.
ice or no?
Thanks, sir.
How bad? While you're doing that, even though you haven't had this sample yet, we can go ahead and start the scoring. The first category is Heritage. Maximum score of 20.
All right, with its DSB surviving Prohibition, and then, I mean, lots of changes, but what has it? There's not many that haven't undergone huge amounts of ownership change. And it is a resurrected label, but it's not a new label from 2019.
What I don't know though is I don't know if it's the same mash bill, the same age, the same, production process. Just because you bought the label and the brand or resurrected it doesn't mean it's the same liquid inside.
No, but the experience Rutledge has, whatever he wants to make, I mean, he's earned the right to put the label they bought.
I completely agree with
his
that.
juice.
But that being said, it hasn't been like a continuous operation distillery and bourbon. What do you got?
Give it a 15, dude.
You're going pretty high.
I did. When, like I said, like Kentucky Apple, we've talked about that before, right? That DSP is from one of the earliest in the state. And it's a resurrected label, contract distilled product at this point. So I still give the heritage because of the history of the label, not just the current owners of the label.
And you're allowed to do that. We don't have very strict guidelines. In fact, you've talked me up on my score. I was going to go with a 12, but I've increased it to a 14. Yeah.
So good flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that?
Well,
careful. Careful. Ordinary Guys Bourbon.
But who doesn't, look at the glass ever?
I don't.
Not even at the end of the night at the bar? No goggles?
I almost never drink bourbon at a bar.
Okay.
It's just so damn expensive. You go and get a
That's easy.
double Woodford or something like that, and you're paying $20. Heaven forbid you're buying it at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a 14. The taste and drinkability, maximum's 40.
Okay.
What do you think?
It's really easy to drink. So there's not a lot of heat, even though it's a 100 proof product.
It's 100 proof though, yeah.
There's nothing like, hey, at the end I really saw something, or it's just super smooth and mellow. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it's lighter, but it doesn't taste like it's just cheap or something like that. You know what I mean?
No.
It tastes. It's very smooth.
It's buttery.
Yeah. I give it a 34.
Yeah. Not quite that high. 30, 31. 31.
Affordability, and this might be a little bit of Achilles heel. I mean, this is a maximum score of 30. Like I said, this was a $60 bottle. I like the idea of having a double rich cream of Kentucky bourbon on the shelf. But just for the liquid itself, to me, there's better products in the $60 price point.
I've had worse.
There are so many worse.
I mean, when you get in the world of very small labels, like, I have not seen this at any store near me.
Okay.
I don't know, you bought it at a Biddy's in Illinois?
That's right.
Okay, I don't know where it's distributed, but I've had plenty of $50, $60 bottles that I wished I hadn't spent that. Like, I could have got that with more known labels in the $40 range.
Okay,
so
that's fair.
This one, there's a couple of my faves that are in that $30 level. This is better than those. It really is. So, I'm not talking, but I'm gonna go to it.
I give it a 20. Yeah. And then the last one is design, and I mean, there's nothing nothing fancy about it. This is a generic bottle.
Can't you appreciate that?
I can.
Yeah.
I can. I do like the label. It's not too complicated, not too busy. That could have been a little nicer. Label.
There's very little art. What do you know what the deal is with the heart?
It loves you.
That's what it is. It says
It loves you.
It says that.
It's on the back too. The little heart in the background.
Right. Well, there's no detractors. Like, it's not like, hey, this won't fit in a bar, won't present well on a shelf, unstable, hard to pour, whatever. You know, remember that bottle of Willits you had?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Difficult to pour, right?
It like
Yeah.
burped as you poured it.
Gurgle, yeah. So, but I do like the simplicity. I think that's cool to me.
Yeah.
Very simple.
And it looks like a bottle that may have been on the shelf since 1980.
Okay.
You know, I give it a 5, middle of the road.
That's exactly where I'm at. Okay.
So overall, I got a 73.
Some bitch.
Look at that. 73's around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that does it for this episode.
Well, I appreciate the
Until
opportunity.
next time, cheers.
Thanks. And it's great to try something new that I haven't seen.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.